Ahoy there, mateys! It's me, earthmanbrick, ready for another crafting episode. And no, you're not insane or suffering from the deadly art of déjà vu, but rather we're retreading ground here. We're making ourselves another Ork Chompa, difference being that the original one was scratch built. In fact, I've since made another one that was also scratch built. So yes, I'm going for a third one here, which will not be scratch built, but rather a kit bash. What's the bloody difference, you geriatric donkoid, you may ask yourself? Well, there's a few different terms for various crafts, and this is how I define them. Conversions. Conversions, they're just simply models that you've personalized slightly, by either sculpting on a few minor details or have repositioned a few parts. Kit bashes, where you take one or more kits and mix them up with other kits in order to make your build. Toy bashes, a build that predominantly uses a toy to make up your project. Scratch builds, my favorite. A unique build that's exclusively made with non-model kit parts to assemble an entirely original piece, usually made from primary resources such as card, cable ties, not just any old crap you find laying about. And lastly, sculpts, a build that's made almost entirely from clay, putty or any other singular resource that's reshaped to construct your project. Now there's a fair few variations and overlap on many of these, but people will likely dispute the definitions and terminology, as these terms are fairly fluidic and prone to colloquial variations. Frankensteining, though, is my favourite term, one that my buddy the Dungeon Matron came up with. She makes brilliant stuff, some real creativity there. Oh yes. Tip my hat to that one. But long story short, the last Chompa vid was a scratch build, and this one is a kit bash. More precisely, I'm kit bashing a single component from an old GW40K model, Gaskull Thraka. I can't remember from which edition this is, but it's an old model. A fearsome orc character is our Gaskull, and he's got a deep, rich history with the lore. Seen as an orc prophet, and all sorts. Something I'll delve into more in a future video. But for now, we're just using the legs from this old model, mainly because I have a particular bigotry when it comes to the GW Mega Armor design. Onto the build itself. So, starting with the base, we use the same method from the Industrial Bases vid, with an added hazard strip for more flavour. I'll take a moment here to remind you plucky plebeians that links to all the mentioned tutorials will be in the video description below. So make sure you get clicking. I then pinned the legs onto the base and added the end of a pen clip to act as a tail. I threw on a whole bunch of orky panels. Got plenty of those. And painstakingly made a harpoon or sticker as per the orc terminology. The teeth are just cardboard and a few pre-sculpted shards too, and then decorated it up with a few rivets here and there. It's a pretty simple build overall, but with the painting, base coated the model just using black oil paints, then switched out to acrylic paints. There's no reason you can't mix and match. I do it all the time, and it works fine. And rather than painting neatly, I just applied lots of stippling and created and built up some textures of colour, using more so techniques rather than skill. And this is my third Chompa now. I believe you can have a maximum of 6 in a squad, so I may make more in future. Speaking of orky futures, I believe these units can be armed with bomb squigs, so I may have to try my hand at making some tinbot versions of those. If you've got ideas of what they should look like, let me know in the comment section below, because my imagination is somewhat limited, and A little bit of inspiration from you folks will certainly help things up a notch. I'm sure of that. But that's all the blood you'll squeeze out of this smelly old stone. So I'll take a moment to say thank you for watching. But I've had enough of you lot now. So, bye.